Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boys who take the lead.
Ball chat. Greetings, football lovers. Welcome to Ball Chat Podcast, the show where we review some of the week's major news in the world of football. Drama in the Scudetto. My name is Benton, along with the family. George, Wagwan family. How you stay?
Well, it's the last 2 weeks, last 2 weeks of the season, last 2 weeks of the Ball Chat season. And I won't lie to you, it was just coming to a screeching halt. But you just cue me in on the Scudetto. Crazy.
Yo, we're tired, brother. We need a break. We want to go watch some cricket and aka some West Indies Bush League cricket and take a break from football. Too much football right now, man.
And one more week.
Big up to the listeners. But a drama in the Scudetto. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Big up to all those who tune in and week out. The Ball Chat. Jam-packed show as usual. And as always, big football discussion on the plate. Yo, the theme of today's show in conjunction are in line with the big tune that we dropped last week. Big up to the artist, Froggy. The title
Mother General, the artist there.
Mother General. My bad. Mother General. Sorry.
Froggy is the selector there.
Froggy is the selector there. Mother General. Big up. The theme of today's show is who won a trophy. The Eagles won a trophy, FA Cup trophy. We'll discuss the FA Cup. Barca won a trophy. Mount Pleasant seeks a trophy. Over in the Scudetto, Napoli look like they want to win a trophy. Arsenal didn't win a trophy. So that's the theme of today's show, is trophy, all about who won a trophy, family.
Yep. And Chelsea women won a trophy.
Yes, Chelsea women won a trophy. You know,
What
so
a bruising a red side.
It's all about trophies. The theme of today's show. And, you know, don't know. But let's kick it off with Scudetto. We're also going to big up, give farewell to some legends in the football space as they moved on from their clubs. Or they potentially moving on. Thomas Muller has played his last game for Bundesliga side Bayern Munich. We'll discuss Thomas Muller's impact with Bayern. And just, give a salute. Jamie Vardy. Yo, 500 football games, 500 appearances for Leicester City? That not sound right, brother.
And you know why it don't even sound right? Because of where he started.
Yeah.
Before he got to Leicester City and at what age. So look at his injury record. Our lack thereof.
Yeah. And maybe I Red Bull them when him drink. He's notorious for drinking Red Bulls.
I didn't fast like grease lightning too, you know.
Fast like. So we'll discuss those respective topics. Also on the global football stage, we'll take a look at comments from Gianni Infantino, FIFA president, this week putting out a statement reassuring fans of the upcoming FIFA Club World Cup in the US and the FIFA World Cup in the US, both reassuring fans that America is a welcoming place. We'll discuss and get the family's thoughts on the sentiment. Is that a strange proclamation from Caucana president Gianni Infantino, but don't know. All right, starting over in the Scudetto family. Games just concluded. 2-2 Lazio and Inter Milan. I think Inter Milan has pretty much given away its opportunity to win the Scudetto. They led 2-1 in the 90th minute, gave away a penalty at home at the San Siro to Lazio. Lazio tied it up. Mad drama in this football game, mad clashes. Both coaches receive red cards. Also going on simultaneously, the title rival Conte and Napoli were playing Parma. that game was 0-0 at the time. So Inter Milan should have secured the bag, the 3 points, and going into the final weekend, family.
And it did end 0-0. So
And
Napoli
it did end 0-0.
So Napoli right now going into the final week of the season, they have a 1 point lead. They have an inferior goal difference though, which might come into play. Because if Napoli loses and all Inter needs a draw and they will win the Scudetto. But like you said though, and I think you kind of hint towards it that Napoli threw it away. Not Napoli, Inter threw it away today. It should be over. No, it is on Napoli whether they want to throw it away or not. Inter has already thrown it away. No, Napoli, it's your turn. Do you want to throw it away or you want to keep it? And technically, they kind of threw it away to them with a 0-0 draw, to be honest, because they should have won. But Inter opened the door. So
and that's a puzzling thing that I have about Inter Milan. It's like this team gives you so much, but sometimes you leave your head scratching a little bit like, brother, come on. I mean, I expect certain teams to give up goals at the death, but not this Inter Milan outfit. Not the way they stack the midfield and try to secure what they have. But somehow yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Somehow in the 88th minute or 90th minute, it's just they lose their heads and then madness raid. Simeone and Inzaghi argue with people, red card at the shout, and it's all about this penalty situation and whether they felt it should have been a penalty or not. I'm sure some Inter Milan fans are going to be very, very pissed off about this ruling. But, brother, come on, don't put yourself in that situation to begin with.
Yeah. And you put, like you say, you put yourself in that position. You put the game to bed. You have the Champions League final to worry about in a week and a half. Not this game out. Get it out, done and dusted. Get your hands on the Scudetto and you move on. That should be the motion. That should be the mindset. Is it fatigue though? Or is it because we can't, it's too easy to just blame Inter for throwing it away, right? Give the other side some credit to the man and fight back then.
Yeah.
They are not people.
Yeah, fair enough. I have to give Lazio some credit. And in the game, the other game, the Napoli versus Parma game that was going on simultaneously, Napoli got a penalty awarded. David Neres went down and the referee pointed to the box. And imagine one time David Neres had one of the hottest sting pants since sliced bread. Boy, yo, that a balloon a bossy.
Well, for now.
No, but not done, man. There's no recovery there, so. This is as good as it gets for David Neres. David Neres went down. A penalty awarded to Napoli. Napoli has, and then clashes between these two teams again. And of course VAR told the referee, look, take a look at this. And subsequently the penalty was reversed. The awarded penalty was reversed. And the game ended 0-0.
Yeah.
So
and we enter into the final game week of the season with must-watch TV.
Yeah, must-watch TV. And you pointed out earlier that Napoli plays Calagiuri in the final match there, and Inter will travel to Como, which is not an easy game.
Yeah.
Not an easy game. So I mean, we should just give this one to Antonio Conte and Inter then.
Sure. I mean, yes. But will there be another twist in the tail? Is Napoli ready? That's the question right now. Is Napoli ready to take that next step?
Yeah,
because they go after
I think this is it, Junior. I don't see Napoli dropping against Caligiuri sitting in 14th position. Caligiuri doesn't have anything to play for. Como also in 10th position. Probably, from a point standing scenario, Como doesn't have anything to play for. They're secure. So both of those teams don't really have nothing to play for.
So then it becomes how does the team that has something to play for, how do they approach the game? That's what it becomes then.
And so the simple ask for Napoli, win and you win the title. Simple request.
Yes, simple.
Yeah. Simple request. The top four as the Scudetto wraps up, enters into the final. One more match round left. Napoli sitting on 79 points. Inter in second on 78. Atalanta in third. And Juventus rounds out the top four Champions League spot. Roma sitting in fifth spot and Lazio in sixth. So Roma in that Europa League spot. Lazio a point behind Roma, still eyeing that most coveted. Ideally, Lazio also still might have a chance for a Champions League spot. Juve 67 points. Roma in fourth. Roma fifth with 66 points. And Inter and Lazio sixth with 65 points.
Well, and the reason why that Juventus game, okay, you have to just look at the last game. If they're not playing against a team that has something to play for, then, or if they're not playing against each other, you have to look at their opponent and wait, right? Both Roma and Juventus travel on the last day. Roma travels to Torino. They should win. Torino is just firmly sitting in the middle of the table. But Juventus travel to Venezia, who is relegated. This is their Venezia's last home game in Italy, playing against the old lady Juventus. The fans are going to be up for that game. The fans want to go out knowing that, and Venezia needs a win. With some help, they can survive and scave off relegation. So this is not an easy game for Juventus.
Yeah, Venezia is still in it because 29 points. Lecce and Empoli on 31 points, with Parma on 33 points. So with a win, they could leapfrog Lecce and Empoli if both of those teams drop points.
And also, if Lecce or Empoli draw and Venezia win, Venezia will leapfrog them because they have a superior goal difference. The Venezia is at negative 23. Empoli and Lecce at negative 20.
They have negative. Lecce with the negative 32 goal difference.
Right. So they have to. And who Lecce play? Lazio. They travel to Lazio. Parma travels to Atalanta, who is firmly third. Lazio, rotted. No. Venezia has everything to play for better because Lecce plays against Lazio, who is currently in the sixth position. Only 2 points behind Juventus. So Lazio know if they beat Lecce and do Venezia a solid, all Venezia has to do is do them a solid and beat Juventus.
I wonder if any money bag, if any little things are going on with the old lady and certain sort of moves in the Scudetto. Not that I'm implying anything.
Some calls are being made, man. Some calls are being made right now.
And football family, we can't go around corner and talk. I mean, a straight up reason, because we don't know Juventus have a history of breaking and bending the rules in the Scudetto. They have been convicted, relegated for all of that. You know what? The referee, tap the referee phone for the ball game there.
There's too much riding on these games. And this is 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock Sunday.
Yes, the 25th.
All games kicked off at
All
9.
games kicked off at the same time. So,
Look, it's guaranteed to happen.
So
Guaranteed.
Napoli versus Cagliari, that and Inter versus Como. Those are the two teams that will decide the fate of the title. So if Napoli wins, they will be champions. And as for survival and Champions League spot, Venezia beats Juventus. They survive, providing that Empoli, who's playing Hellas Verona and Lecce, lose, right?
No,
They just need one to lose. They just need Lecce to lose.
Either one. If Empoli or Lecce doesn't win, Venezia can survive. Or is it the last three, or is it relegation?
Yeah,
is
the last three.
Last three. Yeah. No, so Venezia needs Empoli and Lecce to draw.
So Venezia just needs Lecce to lose. If they Lecce lose and Venezia wins, they leapfrog Lecce to 32 points.
Yeah, but then Empoli, if they need Empoli to also draw, at least draw. If Empoli draw, then Venezia will go to 17. Because, yeah, they will leapfrog Lecce, but they also have to leapfrog Empoli. Because if Lecce lose, Empoli will also leapfrog Lecce, depending on what Empoli does in their game.
Yeah, so it's one spot, two teams, or three teams, essentially. Wait, are two spots for relegation undecided, right? Yeah, so.
No, yeah. 2 spots of relegation undecided.
Undecided, because Empoli, Venezia are on 31 and 29 points. Basically, for Empoli, they must win to get out of it.
Right. They have to win.
So that would put them on 34 points, which will leapfrog Parma, providing that Parma don't win.
So this is where it gets crazy now, because not only Parma, Verona as well, because Verona, of all the teams, Verona have the worst goal difference of all those teams that are trying to survive.
And Verona plays Empoli. Hellas Verona plays Empoli.
So if Empoli beats Verona, Empoli guarantees that Verona going to be relegated before them.
Yeah, Empoli plays Verona, Lazio versus Lecce, Venezia versus Juventus.
And Parma just sitting there. Parma plays against Atalanta, and Atalanta is a Champions League team.
Yeah. So Venezia has to win because it's almost guaranteed that Lazio might beat Lecce. Well, it can't be guaranteed if it's might. There's a high probability that Lazio will beat Lecce. It's at Lazio, right. Last game of the season. They're running in for a Champions League spot.
So that if we consider that a loss, then we know Lecce going to end on 31 points.
All right. Now, to Empoli and Hellas Verona, Empoli at home must beat Verona to have a chance.
Right. And if Empoli have the clearest road out, Empoli beat Verona, you guaranteed that you will stay in Italy next year. You will stay in the Premier in the Scudetto next year.
Drama at the end for the Scudetto fans of the Scudetto. Drama at the end. Reminding listeners, Verona sitting on 34 points, Parma 33, Lecce and Empoli sitting on 31 points. Venezia sitting on 29 points. Monza gone with 18.
Wait till we reach England. You think that bad?
Yeah. And of course, at the top of the table, Napoli and Inter will decide who's crowned champ 2024-2025 champs of the Scudetto. Napoli sitting on 79 points. Just a win against Cagliari, and they will take it Inter hoping for a Napoli draw or loss and a victory, and they will take it.
Yep.
All right, stepping away from the Scudetto. Anything else we want to say about the Scudetto? We're not, well, of course, we highlighted the Champions League and the running for top four. Juventus trying to secure that top four needs something from that game against Venezia.
Yeah.
And Lazio trying to get something. I know. Hey, now Lazio and Paolo Di Canio side. We don't want to get nothing,
Well, everybody have it in their hands. Whether you want them or not, you have it in your hands. You can decide it. So go out there and handle your business. All you have to do.
Yo. All right, now stepping away from the Scudetto, and the theme of today's show is all about who want a trophy or who won a trophy. 164 years. Crystal Palace, the Eagles have finally landed, won their FA Cup, won the English FA Cup. Emeriche Eze with the goal 16 minutes in. Crystal Palace will be in Europa League. Family, talk to me about the FA Cup.
Yo, I don't know what is it about the FA Cup and Pep Guardiola, because he seemed to just... It's something about the FA Cup and Pep. I don't know. I can't explain it. Mamouche, forget about Eze goal. Forget about the goal that was taken back for Crystal Palace. Remember, they also had a goal disallowed. Mamouche penalty. When you have Erling Haaland on the field, what the hell are you doing taking the penalty?
So I think Erling Haaland has missed his last three.
I know business.
But this is where you would say to me, well, if he missed, then I want to say, well, the what if. Plus, I think Pep said he doesn't know why he gave it up. One of the experts said that, I think it was Alan Shearer, or one of them, I don't remember exactly who said that they felt like the moment was too big for Haaland, so he decided to give it up.
All right, Alan Shearer, shut the hell up.
I think. I don't know if it's Shearer. I think.
Whoever said that, Alan Shearer, I know business. Just shut up. Whoever said that, they need to just shut up and give up their pundit license and put on a hate badge, because that's a hateful statement. You cannot look at Erling Haaland, the Viking, something too big for him. Stop it. Just stop it. But it's one of those moments where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And to be honest, and that to me was the game, because Man City dominated the game, but Crystal Palace took their chance and remained a threat for the whole 99 minutes of the game, or 100 minutes of the game. Crystal Palace maintained some form of a threat to keep Man City at bay. That's a game to me. Now, the second goal, the disallowed goal, is what it is. Crystal Palace. You know the essence of football. There were videos that came out on social media. Things back in the day we wouldn't know existed. When you look at the joy on those people's faces, I'm talking some older people, the joy on their face. And when you really sit back and think about it, you get a window into what makes football, European club football so great. Not only in England, it happened everywhere. These fans are so loyal. It's not like in American sports where I like LeBron James, so wherever LeBron goes, I am a LeBron fan, even though I live in Atlanta, right? In England, you live in Atlanta, you support the Atlanta teams. They are rubbish, you stay in the rubbish heap with them. And that's what I saw from the Crystal Palace.
Why do you have to use Atlanta? I mean, because you could use any other team. Come on, I'm to the brother, man.
No, but you
start. There's some subliminal messages you try to send.
Of course, I'm trying that's how you meant that. You were so
light fire around. Hey, watch yourself, you know.
What are the 3 stripes?
5 stripes, sir.
5 stripes. Got 2 of the stripes pop off over the last couple
It's
of years.
5 stripes.
I bet that you started so high with Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta. What did they get Atlanta? What they bust that?
Don't worry about the mascot. Can we keep it focused on the FA Cup, family?
Oh, but seriously though,
Atlanta United is going through a transition period for the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, the transition started for the first year. This is a bet. I bet you Atlanta recover before Man United. Good.
12 years, 13 years still transitioning.
Okay, all right. So you say it. I love that. Say, keep that same energy. I need that for Wednesday.
I have to work with the evidence I have. At least we will send our fans to send our coaching staff to the actual knockout competition final and have a coach pay for them.
See, you see that.
Of course, you will say we have to make a final still.
No, but that as a Man U fan, we just can't banter people without having the back door wide open, so people just bust your head with a big stone.
Come on, man! No need to do better. We'll get to Europa League final now, but and then our dog Atlanta United, rightfully so, the sides are outside right now.
but I love the reaction from the fans, and that to me signifies the joy of the FA Cup and how it gives teams an opportunity. If you can figure out and navigate a schedule and just have that good 90 minutes every 2 games or so, you give me good 90 minutes. Some luck can fall in your favor and you can start a magical year. Plus, remember, I'm starting to side. Who said it? Wenger. When Wenger said it, today was when it dawned on me. Crystal Palace is going to go into Europa League next year. They're going to get money. They still have the Olise money. They can now invest. They're not playing against Champions League rejects next year in Europa League. They can actually have a deep Europa League run. They can actually have a good Europa League run because it's not like they're going to play against the big boys in Europe. They're going to play against comparable teams to them on their levels that they have, assuming that they can invest the money right. They are going to have a good season next year, and they will now face the problem of can you navigate a season, play midweek, still get up and play the Premier League? Can you withstand injuries? Can your players play that schedule? None of them going to face that, but that is what the joy of this FA Cup final brought for a fan base that never expected it.
Yeah, I do agree to some extent regarding next year, but as we know, summer transfer windows or summer transfer season is up on us, and we don't know if Crystal Palace is going to be able to hold on to some of those players. I envision that someone will make an inquiry about Emeriche Eze. But that aside, kudos, big up to the Eagles. We can't go around it no longer, Junior. Red card or not, Dean Henderson. Pep was pissed off. Man City fans upset. Dean Henderson, of course, slapped the ball away from Erling Haaland, sticking his hand outside the 18-yard box. Wayne Rooney says if VAR did not, to paraphrase him, said VAR can't say that that's a red card, then them need to get rid of VAR.
Yeah, and if it was given as a red card, I wouldn't be angry. If it's not given as a red card, I'm still not angry. It's one of those gray area calls. And unfortunately, VAR is being implemented to remove the gray area, right? There should be no ambiguity. The letter of the law says X. If you do X, this is the punishment, right? And if that's the letter of the law, then yes, it should have been a red card. It should have been. It should have been. And right there, that's when it depends on who the VAR ref is. And maybe they need to go to You see that clear and obvious error rule is so ambiguous that it creates all of these problems. You notice we have never seen an offside given by VAR that we sit on and complain about. We've never had a conversation about an offside because it is plain as day. It's a clear rule. Here's a line. You step over the line. Here's the ball when it touch. Offside. Argument done. Right? Maybe that's what VAR should be used for. Forget about clear and obvious error. Use VAR for those letter of the laws that are black and white. But anything that becomes gray area, because anything that becomes an interpretation, then you're not using VAR. What you're doing is giving an extra referee a chance to validate a call or invalidate a call. And then if both referees are not of like mind, why is the referee that is sitting in the box having more power than the referee that is on the field? That's now will become a valid argument, because this is not a black and white call. This is a gray area call based on the letter of the law. I'm speaking for Cameron. I think Cameron will say you denied a goal scoring opportunity by handing the ball clear red, right? Or Cameron might say he didn't know what he was doing. Him trying to do something and then flash him on and boom, cool. That's an interpretation. So I think that I pity Pep, and I see why Pep will have a problem with it. But Pep, Mamouche hit the penalty. We'll have a different conversation.
But that is Pep's argument. Pep saying they're supposed to be on the field to see a penalty to begin with, aka Dean Henderson. Because if they get him red card, he would have gone off of the field. No, but most interesting.
Do you think it's a red card?
Huh?
Do you think it's a red card?
I mean, it's a denial. Yeah, man, a red card. It's a denial of a goal scoring opportunity. Now, the rule is basically, if I understand it clearly, is that since it wasn't called on the field, VAR couldn't make that call for the referee. You know, so they couldn't tell the referee, VAR couldn't intervene and tell the man, say, yo, a red card call, you know, because it wasn't called on the field.
But is it clear and obvious?
It's not clear and obvious because the linesman wasn't there, but you're looking down the line clearly, him tap away the ball from the striker off of his foot. I mean, it's now Dean Henderson might argue that he didn't know where he was on the field, but that is mad puss foolishness, because clearly Dean Henderson knows where the box is.
Yeah, there is no excuse for ignorance.
So, I mean, Erling Haaland is in position to move the ball, to touch the ball. Now, we can debate, I think the conclusion that VAR made is that they don't know if Erling Haaland, like clear and obvious, they don't know if Erling Haaland would have tapped the ball accurately away from Dean Henderson. Maybe if him touch the ball and then kick it too hard and it go out for a corner kick or something. So that is not very clear and obvious. But the fact that the ball is slapped off his foot, maybe shouldn't be a clear and obvious rule. It should be the situation like this player utilized illegal methods to gain an advantage, or utilize an illegal method to gain an advantage. And then they end up with a free kick, then they end up with a red or yellow, because of course is the fact that not because they handle the ball out of the box means an automatic red card. It's, you know. So the fact that, so this is probably why Pep is mad. They don't end up with nothing at all. They ended up with nothing at all when the man clearly stuck his hand outside the box to slap with the ball. Now, man, if that happened to Reno, I would have been mad as hell.
Will Reno ever play a game where you have VAR referee?
Yes, we will, Junior. At some point, they're implementing in the year 2029, JFF will implement VAR in the Jamaican second tier. And the linesman, bless his heart, he wanna try catch up catch up hard. Look. If we look at this image, he's out of the frame of the play because, of course, a long ball over, and he might try to run hard, But from that angle, the linesman can't really tell because he cannot see down the line. Or should he be able to? Because,
Yeah, I can't. I won't make a judgment call like that for the.
because look at the box. When a man goes to run a line, or a woman goes to run a line, the color of the grass is kind of an indication of where things are on the field. Look at the light area of the box 18-yard line on the grass. All right, that's the light. So the lineman can't look on the light and dark area and say, well, you're the man hand is in the dark area of the grass.
You do know where we're heading with this, right? You do know we're heading into a world.
I am trying to make a case for Pep Guardiola's penalty here.
But we're heading into a world where the referee will be an autonomous machine sitting on a track, and it's following the last, either the player or the ball, following the last player. It's a line up and just following the player or the ball. That's where we're heading with technology,
Well, I mean, maybe there's a need for technology in this gray area because we have included technology in automatic or autonomous offside, the chip inside the ball, and now we probably need to include something. I don't know. You guys are the ones with the technology's capabilities. You tell me, what do you need to put in the ball to kind of determine that the man slapped the ball from the man? Could you utilize the same chip what you use for offside?
Use Hawkeye.
Just use Hawkeye.
That's the same thing they do with cricket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They use sound and they use the heat signature on the bat to pick up where the ball hit, whether it hit the bat or hit the pad. So the technology is there. It's not like the technology is not there. It's just that will that take away from the game? And in the journey to get the calls right, how much will the game change? Because I can argue that cricket has changed over the years with the technology. Cricket has changed. Your approach as a batsman has completely changed. And I think that is what opened the doors for Corrigan cricket. Because with technology being the way it is, learning to bat is completely different than back in the day. I remember the pads. When you had on the pads, your pads with the strap coming in, I mistakenly put my pads with the strap going out. So when you put in the pads, you put it in and you strap it, right?
Yeah.
I put my strap going in, and I remember playing against Waterford high school, and I go up on my front foot, up for half volley shot, and completely missed the ball. But I know my bat hit my pad strap, and everybody here, I umpire say, yeah, we hear it. I said, no, umpire, no.
That's a different sound, yeah.
It's a different sound. Now, with technology the way it is right now, and if most people playing professional cricket, Hawkeye will not come in and say, yeah, no, the ball never touch the bat, right? How would my approach to batting change? How would Jimmy Adams, I know it's a different sport, but how would Jimmy Adams, would he even be called Padams?
Maybe you need to learn to bat properly then and don't use your pad.
No, but that's a change, right? You're changing your approach to the game. So when Shane Warne and Shane Warne especially, when he come in with theme flipper, and everybody, Adams say, yo, my butter, my tips, not going near the ball, because I kick with the ball. Boom.
Yeah.
Any other ball pitch outside half stump, outside leg stump, me kick it with. Boom.
Kick it with, yeah.
But now with technology, the ball will have pitch and turn and blah, blah, blah. Adams, instead of you standing there and batting 500 deliveries and making 14 runs, you're out after 10 deliveries. Come off of the field.
Yeah, come on, I feel.
It's the same thing happening in football. Because Filippo Inzaghi lived in offsides.
And Gary Lineker.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Inzaghi lived in the offside.
Gary Lineker and 80s born in the offside.
No, nothing. The only thing that is close to Inzaghi is Tigat. Tigat is the only, but Tigat.
No, Morata close to Inzaghi.
No, Morata idiot. Tigat problem was his processor is too fast. And he is making the runs too fast. Right? I remember half of them offsides. Tigat just run too fast. He just take off. I was twinning bug angling. I always want turn with the ball instead of sending the ball through. So Tigat always get caught offside.
Wait, Tigat, that's for Jamaica.
For Jamaica.
Okay, because Angling play for Wadada and Tigat play for Siba.
Oh, but Jamaica.
Okay.
Inzaghi walking offsides and always walk right to the last man and just itch up beside him and look up on the referee and say, "You're watching? You're watching? You're watching? All right, now take off." With technology right now, we would never have that form of striking.
But that's why we have the technology, because we saw those strikers cheating.
But the ball game will change.
Yeah, ball game won't change. The idea is that, do we want the ball game be accurate as possible, or we worry that it's going to change? I mean, I think we can achieve both. Why not utilize the technology? You have a bunch of people who are talking about AI, this and technology, that, and why not use it for the betterment and improvement of the game?
Yeah.
You know, Gary Lineker read a statement, said, quote, "The direction in which Erling Haaland was going made it possible, but not an obvious goal-scoring opportunity," end quote. Lineker said. Wayne Rooney said, "Just get rid of VAR," quote, "just get rid of VAR." He said, I mean, he was quite emphatic in the process. But long story short, at the end of the day, the Eagles are champions. Yeah. Eagles champions of the FA Cup. So, congrats. 164 years, family. Man, I'm going to play Europe.
Yeah, I'm happy for them. I'm going to send you the video with the fans. That fan, it brought tears to my eyes.
And big up to Oliver Klasner, Philippe Mateta, Ismail Sarr. I mean, the entire Adam Wharton. Yeah, big up to Darwin. Big up yourself, because it was a Darwin probably. A virgin was is a Crystal Palace fan. The man probably drunk like.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean,
yeah,
but something about Man City. Man City just likes to give teams a good feeling at the FA Cup.
Yeah. And as for Man City, we'll get to Man City here in a second. And now we step over to the Premier League and the race for top 4. Important race for top 5.
Top 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Important result in the race for top 5 this weekend, family. Newcastle suffered a 1-0 defeat to Arsenal. Not good for Newcastle's chance. Top 5 family.
I would have said not good, but they make it a little bit harder than it needed to be. But expecting Newcastle to travel to Arsenal and beat Arsenal, it's too much of a stretch.
So now Arsenal booked their place in the Champions League again after the victory over Newcastle. So current point standing, Liverpool will round out the round against Brighton tomorrow. Liverpool sitting on 83 points, Arsenal 71 points, Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa 3-5 sitting on 66 points. Man City in 6 on 65 points with a game in hand. They will play Bournemouth in the middle of the week, and Forest in 7th on 65 points. Talk to me, family, about how this thing look.
The one that is the one that hurts the most to me is, it actually worked out the way we wanted to work out. We predicted this a couple of weeks ago. We said, look, the thing that Premier League would want right now, Peacock's subscription is going to go all the way up. We wanted that Nottingham Forest Chelsea game to mean something. And we wanted it to be that Nottingham Forest had to win. I wanted that. Nottingham Forest had to win the game. They are hosting Chelsea, last game of the season, next week, Sunday, 11 o'clock. Make that last game mean something by making it that Nottingham Forest need to beat Chelsea to make it in top 5. And that's exactly what we're end up right now.
You know what? All right, Chelsea defeated Manchester United 1-0 on Friday. I'm not really convinced that Nottingham Forest is going to beat Chelsea, you know.
Hell no. Why would I even think that? But Chelsea can just give you a Chelsea moment. Right? They can give you a Chelsea moment.
Yeah, fair enough.
But you can, if one thing about that game, it's one thing about all the games that every team that is playing. I'm going to go to the limb and just I'm going to accept that Man City winning their next 2 games. They play Bournemouth and they play Fulham. Right?
I don't know, Junior. Man City dropped points last weekend against Southampton, the worst team in the Premier League. No, we agree that Man City does have the destiny in their own hands, right? They win their last 2 games and they're in a Champions League spot. Lock up. They have Bournemouth and Southampton, but Bournemouth and Fulham. But when you draw with Southampton, the worst team in the Premier League,
questions have to be asked. You're going to have to prove it. I agree with that. They have to prove it, right? So cool. So let's put a question mark there. None of these teams are going to enter the last week of the season saying all I need is a draw. You notice that?
No, you can't. You have to win to guarantee your place.
Aston Villa would love Chelsea and Nottingham Forest to draw. They would love that. And then all they have to do is beat Man U at Old Trafford, which should not be that difficult. Now, if it's Man U, Europa champions Man U, shouldn't be difficult. If it's Europa defeated Man U, is going to be a difficult game for them next Sunday. Talking for Nottingham Forest. Talking for Aston Villa. But Aston Villa would want Chelsea and Nottingham Forest to draw. Newcastle would want... Newcastle hosts Everton. They should beat Everton.
And that's another thing also. All right, the Newcastle that we saw today, without Alexander Isak, is toothless going forward. Callum Wilson is not ready. The young kid Ursula that they put on does show some potential. Harvey Barnes and Gordon, the man them couldn't. I mean, so the way Everton has played under David Moyes is a feisty Everton team, and yes, it's away from home. But I expect Everton to compete. I expect, because that's kind of the mentality it seems that David Moyes has really implemented in this Everton team. And plus, Everton players also playing to make sure that they return next season with a contract. Or you have Doucouré, who's still his contract situation is still unresolved with Everton, so he's still on. So I think for Everton Football Club players, some of them are on the fringes of what the club will look like in terms of extension, signing, or extension, or them have to go find other place to work. So then I don't expect Everton to just go to St. James Park last day of the season and just kind of say a holiday them upon.
And also this is the Everton that is moving away from Goodison Park to a new stadium. They don't want to open a new stadium with an idiot side. So you're right. I mean, tough games. Hey, next Sunday. Why? I don't go to church.
Well, that's good. We'll update you after church.
But 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, You
So
know,
9 a.m.
Hey,
Syrah.
hey, Pierce, I want, but no, my father want, and them go to church every Sunday when them can. Hey, what if you see me on my church live stream, don't ask why Junior reading the Bible sideways, but he could read the Bible long ways. Just know something I read them. Just know that I want to read more of the verses them long side. So we just
Premier League table and upcoming fixtures. Let's see here. Let's make sure so we get the right thing. Premier League. Well, I put the Premier League 2 on the man and say, yo, what the man have Premier League 2 up there for? Let's get to the big league because Premier League 2 is Man City is the winner of that league. Liverpool on top with 83 points. Again, Arsenal. Congrats to the Arsenal fans and Arsenal faithful fan base on making it another year to the continental competition in the Champions League with 71 points. Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa 66 points, 3 through 5th. Man City 65 points, a game in hand. Fixtures coming up, family. Brighton versus Liverpool tomorrow, 3 p.m. Tuesday the 20th. Crystal Palace versus Wolves, meaningless game. Man City versus Bournemouth, big game. You think Man City wins this game? It's at the Etihad.
100%. I cannot see. Look, even if VAR have to give a handball at the center circle as a penalty for Man City has to play in the Champions League next year.
Why?
They have to play in the Champions League.
Why?
You're not
and
going to
the next words, those are the views of Junior and not Balchat. Why Man City have to play in the Champions League?
Pep Guardiola will be in the Champions League next year.
Okay.
So yes, Man City will be beaten Bournemouth.
Sunday, May 25th, finals match day in the Premier League. Bournemouth versus Leicester City, Fulham, Man City, Ipswich, West Ham, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Man United, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Everton, Chelsea, Forest, big game, Southampton, Arsenal, Spurs, Brighton, and Wolves, Brentford. All games kicking off at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You know, so looking at the table, family, Tottenham Tottenham is sitting in 17th position and Man United in 16th. This is a strange sight to see these two teams right above the relegation zone. This is something historic, right?
Yeah. And for what they're about to play for on Wednesday. And I think both teams should be thrown in the garbage. The loser, nobody on that team should survive the year. The winner, what they should do is whoever wins that game. Let's say Tottenham wins the game. First of all, Enge need to confirm with Levy. Am I going to be here next year? And Levy say, you know what, yeah, we give another year. All right, cool. Go into the locker room and bring 4 pair of boots. Or 5. Bring 5 pair of boots. And look at the squad. You tell Son, Onana, the couple midfielders that them have.
Which Onana?
No, Onana. What the name
Bissouma?
of Bissouma. Bissouma, Son, the fast defender what them have.
Cristiano Van de Beek. Van brother.
That brother there. The fast. You even have the right name, Van.
Van
fast like a jeep. And the goalkeeper maybe. Tell them to come out of the locker room.
Why?
I would drop 5 pair of boots and come out and say, the 5 players that come out of this locker room with a pair of boots, you're on the team next year. The rest, you're not playing next year. And for Man U, when Man U lose, Nobody come back on the team. The reason why I'm saying that is these idiots, both teams, dumbasses, literally stopped playing football for almost a month. They haven't played a serious football game for over a month. Benton, neither team win. Since it became almost clear that they are about to play each other in the Europa League final, and what is left, what they are playing for is a Champions League spot. Quick story. Back in the day, back in my college days, my first round of college days, I used to do electrical engineering, right? And one of the teachers, electrical circuits, never forget it, I class them circuits. And the teacher came into the class. We hear about the teacher. Them call 4 teachers the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, right? Why we call them a horsemen of the apocalypse? They teach core classes that you have to pass to continue on your journey to the degree. And they make it hard. Dr. Simons, never forget it. Went to the circuits class, a core class. So it's a 40-seat class. It was like 65 people in the class. Dr. Simons come in and look in first day of class and him smile. So, okay, funny. All right. If you have a job, put your hand up. Couple people put their hand up. He said, all right. If you have a kid, put your hand up. Couple people put their hand up. All right. If this is your first time taking the class and you are a second-year student, put your hand up. All right, cool. Everybody look around. You don't have a seat right now, but I guarantee 90% of the people that put them hands up, them gone by midterm. They are dropping the class. You are not surviving the class. So don't worry. You don't have a seat right now, but don't worry. You will have a seat by midterm. All right, so, oh, by the way, too, forget to say this. I am giving you the final exam right now. You're getting the final exam. It's one question. It's a circuit. One question. I'm giving you the final. And here's the caveat. If you pass the final, you pass the class. So him said, look around and say, look, I guarantee 75% of you guys will be thinking about not coming back to my class. So don't worry, the next 25, don't worry. You will have a seat. Don't worry. 75% of you going just not come back. It's so done. The next time was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That was the Wednesday we started school. Friday was be out there. The next Monday, class empty. You know why? A lot of people decided, no, not taking the class. I will work on the final and figure out the final. And by after midterm, going into towards the end of the semester, you know, Dr. Simon said that time. Man said it doesn't matter who take the final. It's a 2-hour final. Nobody can answer that question in 2 hours. Nobody. It's impossible. So nobody can pass the final. What he's going to do is your coursework leading up. He's doing a bell curve. 50% are the highest grade or the pass. The next 50% are going to fail. God. And by the way, he's tenured. They cannot fire him. Those are his words. Swear to God. And that's what Manchester United and Tottenham players are doing. They say, screw the rest of the season. We're putting all our eggs in that last basket. We are just taking the final. If I go there and if I score a goal in the final, if I am Harry Maguire and I score a header in the final, I will live on in folklore with the Manchester United fans. They will not remember the whole of the season when I choke the season away. That's what both fan bases are doing. That's what both teams are doing. And it pisses me off, man. It pisses me off. And I agree with Wenger. I think Wenger's side coming when he said they should not give the Europa finalists automatic bid to Champions League. And I think this year might be the last year of it. I really think so.
You think so?
I really think so. Eventually, some teams, somebody powerful is going to come out and say, yo, how the hell you have an 18th team in the English Premier League and play Champions League? And it's not like the Champions League rejects them go to Europa League. How them mother play champion? No, man, that's not supposed to.
Imagine all a team get relegated and win the Europa League and play a champion.
Exactly.
I mean, but it's the landscape of things. I mean, you get there how you can. There's no, some teams, look at Nottingham Forest, with all their spectacular achievements this season. Nottingham Forest may end up outside the Champions League. And you have a team way down a gully, aka Manchester United or Tottenham, will be in the Champions League.
And it's not fair.
I say, it's not about fear. It's about a man utilizing the opportunities that's presented, a man or woman utilizing the opportunities that are presented to them. I think entering the season, Man United and Tottenham both circle the Europa League, as you pointed out, has their biggest opportunity to get there. So you have to be strategic about this thing. Nottingham Forest enter the season and say, yo, we are going to make it through Champions League. Make it through top 5 qualify. I was like, you're mad? You idiot? So, I mean, people just, they're utilizing whatever they can. I mean, I think this should be a rotted final, though. Because it's going to be something that both teams is going to have to lay it all on the line. Both coaches laying it all on the line to achieve this thing.
It's going to be scrappy. I think it's going to be the worst football game ever. Yeah. I would not be surprised.
No, not rotted in terms of the quality of the football, rotted in terms of the intensity and the competitiveness.
Yes.
Because both clubs and both coaches recognize the importance of winning this final.
Yes.
A lot rides on this final, winning this trophy for both of them. Because whosoever lose it, dog them themselves up pretty much. They have to go try to find money to then stock the squad for next year.
Yeah, it's 100% a rebuild year. If the loser, you're going into rebuild mode. The winner goes into patch mode. And, as a I am a diehard Manchester United fan. And I am not playing radio or playing TV or playing pundit. I'm not trying to crack jokes. I would cheer, because we do halftime Wednesday. I'm going to be so happy Wednesday if Man U slip, trip, fall, and win. But I promise you this, Benton, I would prefer Man U to lose. I would prefer a slow build than a quick fix. Because
how does a fan wrap their head around accepting defeat? Shouldn't fans, because what you're hoping for, this slow build, doesn't necessarily materialize without funds. It doesn't materialize without funding. And this money is an essential part of funding. I mean, the man them that wants spend money for send staff go the game, much less them lose the game and them have to go find money for injecting the squad. Where them go find it?
No, you get rid of players. You already got rid of players. You already jettisoned some players out there to see. No, I would rather go through the academy, bring up, because them have some players coming through the academy. Them have some ballers. Now, it's a risk. You probably won't make Champions League next year either way, going that route. But why is Champions League the end goal? Why not just be, all right, this year we finish bottom of the table, next year let's finish mid-table? I would be okay with Man U finishing 10th. I would be okay if Man U have a season like Brentford next year. I would be fine with it. I honestly, because the shine is gone. Now, if they get the Champions League spot, money comes in, and we're not even sure if the money going to be spent. We're talking like we're sure so the money going to bring in 4 new players. That might not happen. So they might have a go play Champions League with the same squad. And we know what's going to happen if that happens. We know Ruben Amorim will not survive to December if he doesn't bring in at least 5 players and they have to play a Champions League schedule. He's not surviving to December. He's not. So for me, as a Man U fan, as a diehard Man U fan, and people going to say I'm lying and this, I'm not lying. I'm dead serious. I would rather Man U lose and we start the season at the bottom of the barrel. And we see, first of all, we will see who want to play here for who don't want to play here. We'll see who is committed to a rebuild and who's not committed to a rebuild. That's what that's what I would want as a fan. But they're gonna cheer and go on crazy by putting on a suit Wednesday if Man U win. It is what it is.
As for Spurs, Kulusevski, James Maddison are both out for this game. I mean, that's huge for Spurs. Can Spurs win this final without these two players?
Yes, they can. They can. They've beaten Man U 3 times this year. They know how to beat Manchester United.
But they beat Manchester United with those players, right?
With or without them. I don't think Madison didn't play in one of the games. Son is out. So they have with the injuries that they have and with the inconsistencies of how Tottenham play, Man U should feel confident going into the game. But also Tottenham should feel confident knowing that if they don't give away a goal, Man U not scoring. It's just one of them bad games. It's one of those games. This literally looks like one of those games where Onana going to have a head scratcher. Garnacho going to create something out of nothing. And then one of the defenders on either side going to have a bonehead moment, playing the ball out the back and give up a goal in the 93rd minute. That's what I think will happen. And in between that is going to be a scrappy, nasty, non-fun game. But everybody going to watch it because of the intrigue. That's what I'm expecting Wednesday.
Okay, interesting. Europa League final this Wednesday. Man United versus Spurs. Big trophy for either of these teams. I mean, if somehow Spurs win a trophy, Jaja. If somehow, and Inge did say it. He said he normally win trophy. He did say I normally win a trophy in my second season. So, so let's just go ahead and prepare the ticker parade for Spurs and Inge for this one. Big up BM. BM says, greetings, Ball Chat. Jamie Vardy is an example of what's possible when you work hard and believe in your abilities. He went from non-league football to EPL champion in 4 years. Well, yeah, man, Jamie Vardy. Speaking of Jamie Vardy, let's just go ahead and get our salutes out the way, family. Jamie Vardy wrapped up his farewell with Leicester City, final home game for this player. Stellar career with this club. And unlike the other mainstays, the main part of that successful team, he remained with this club. Of course, I'm getting money still, but he's part and parcel, a key factor in the fabric of Leicester City. 500 games, family. 500 appearances.
That's a whole heap of games for starting so late. And if they're for every time you look at like a Lamine Yamal and you say, boy, that player proved to me why I would never play Premier League football. There's a Jamie Vardy that said, well, if you dedicate your time, and it almost gives you that fool's goal rush, right? Where if he can do it, I can do it. That's something that Jamie Vardy really symbolizes to me. Is it sacrilegious to say he has an Ian Rush feel to him in terms of storyline, in terms of his greatness and being recognized late, and somebody will stand up and never. It's not like he had the prototypical football talent. I mean, him fast, but apart from that, Jamie Vardy wasn't like super skillful. It wasn't a super finisher. It's just, he looks like a common man. He looked like a brother would just play. We will play ball with him on a Sunday.
You said, is it sacrilegious to say what?
He has an Ian Rush kind of vibe to him.
I wouldn't say. No, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't think that's sacrilegious. I mean, I think pound for pound, both him and Ian Rush, both players have a knack to score goals.
Yeah.
The pound and you can't. It's hard to teach that skill. It's maybe some would probably say it's impossible to teach that skill. I don't know if it's a natural thing or how people develop this skill. If anybody out there who can crack the code and bottle this sort of goal scoring ability, teach people how to score goal and can inject that into players, the young and upcoming players, that person will make a lot of money because Jamie Vardy is just notorious. Opportunities given, opportunities taken in front of goal. He relished the opportunity, especially against big opponents. And especially that year when they won the Premier League. I mean, they did something. Jamie Vardy and that group, the Mahrez, Conte of the world, they moved on. But they did something. Morgan was there until he retired, but they did something extremely unheard of in this modern era of football. And so, Jamie Vardy, I mean, stellar career with Leicester City. And, some of these so-called goal scorers that we are talking about nowadays, them man not one scored 15 goals, and Jamie Vardy did it multiple seasons, right? Some of them players here we are give hype, and I get big money. Them money I can't even score 5 goals good. I mean, I dropped the word for Rasmus Highland. But so this is a testament to his work ethic. I mean, like you say, him fast like grease lightning. And anyhow you play that ball anywhere near between it's a foot race between him and the defender, most often he's gonna win. And again, you cannot underestimate the ability to just score goals. And any coach, anyone out there who can teach people how to score goals has a winning recipe, because I think it's something that is not. I don't necessarily think it's something that it's taught. It's the temperament in front of goal, because a lot of people get goal scoring opportunities, but you have to have a calmness and know the goal there and be able to calmly score that goals. Yeah, Jamaica could have used a striker like that right now.
Well,
I guess you probably said Mason Greenwood is coming, so let's see.
I was going to say we had one with Luton Shelton. Because Luton Shelton kind of have a Jamie Vardy vibe to him too, Rest in peace, Luton Shelton.
Nah, man, rest in peace, Luton. Big up yourself. Now, man, that now you're in the blasphemous. Luton fast like grease lightning. I think Luton fast like grease lightning, and he maximizes his talent, because I love Luton and his accomplishments, but Luton also was somewhat conversion rate wasn't the best, And it was, I mean, for Jamaica, it's outstanding because he was the leading goal scorer for Jamaica. But
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Vardy was just another level when it comes to conversion rate.
Vardy had 1 year at another level. Let's be fair.
Yeah, I mean, look at these goal scoring numbers in the Premier League, Junior. 2014, 2015, 5 goals. 2015, 2016, 24 goals. 2016, 2017, 13 goals. 2017, 2018, 20 goals. 2018, 2019, 18 goals. 2019, 2020, 23 goals. 2020 and 2021, 15 goals. 2021 and 2022, 15 goals. 2022, 2023, 3 goals. And 2024, 2025, 9 goals. I mean, from 2015 to 2016, from the 2015 to 2016 season all the way up to the 2021-22 season. I mean, he's scored double digits. Yo, Darwin Núñez would never.
But remember, he had 500 games.
Yeah,
so
but
your conversion rate, but I'm not, no, sorry, I'm not.
yeah, 500 games is one thing, but that's durability and conversion. Because if you're not score goals, you're not going to just play so.
Durability is where it starts and stop for me. That's where it start and stop for me.
And actually, I would probably say to you as the England fan, maybe if England relied a little more on Jamie Vardy leading the line, they would have won something.
I agree. BM says that at 38, looks like he can play in the EPL in another 2 years.
I mean, yeah, he could. A club, one of those newly promoted clubs, could utilize his services. Because ultimately, I mean, Leeds coming up. Who else? Who else have come up? Who are the promoted teams? Leeds, I think Leeds is one of them. Who get promoted? What year? Did Burnley get promoted back up?
No, I think they have to play the final, right?
All right. So Leeds could you? Because right now with Jamie Vardy, you don't bring him in to lead the line. You bring him in to provide 15 minutes at 10 minutes later on in our ball game, you need a goal.
Meh. I can't get that from elsewhere.
You know, Arsenal could have used Jamie Vardy right now.
That is true.
But salute to Jamie Vardy. I mean, the fact that, you know, he was part of something that will never be repeated probably anytime soon, Junior.
Yeah, you can't slap a bull on the butt once and get away with it. You can't do it twice. I don't think the big clubs in England will allow another Leicester to happen that easily. Nottingham Forest came the closest to pulling a Leicester, and Liverpool was just too much for them. And then everybody else catch up.
88 games, 88 appearance for Stockbridge Park, 40 goals. FC Halifax, 37 appearances, 26 goals. Fleetwood Town, 36 appearances, 31 goals. Leicester City, 440, well, it's now 500 appearances. And it's what, 200 goals? So, he's a goal scorer.
And just for confirmation, Leeds and Burnley, yes, Leeds and Burnley done qualify. Sheffield United and Sunderland plays Saturday to see who qualifies out of that.
Yeah, man. So let's see what. So BM says he thinks he can play another 2 years in the Premier League. Junior, any other club do you think Jamie Vardy will remain in the Premier League, or what comes next for him?
Remember PPP or FPP or FFP kicking this year now. So Jamie Vardy would have to take a significant pay cut to play in the Premier League next year because of value versus age. Because remember, you can't have a nostalgic player coming in with big money. So they have to have some value. So to answer your question, it's hard. It's hard for me to think that a team will invest in a Jamie Vardy right now, especially with the number 9 position kind of not being what it used to be.
And with the connection that he has with Leicester City, a part of me don't necessarily see him playing in the Premier League for another club.
I agree. And that's what BM said, that he heard he's going to MLS next.
Yeah.
Which MLS would be perfect for him. But
Atlanta United could use a goal scorer.
Well, and you see, I was just about to give a fair warning to whichever MLS club decide that they want to bring in a Jamie Vardy. You have to remember the player, and eventually age is going to kick in. Eventually age is going to remind him you are on the plus side of 30, going to 40s, you're not going to be able to run like Grease Lightning anymore. Can he
Yeah,
do others?
you have a retirement home down in Miami and play ball. All Jamie Vardy have to do. I'm talking about retirement. You have Busquets, you have Suarez.
How has that been going, Benton?
Suarez now no cartilage in his knee and him still a play. Jamie Vardy can roll out for Atlanta United. Make it happen for me.
Okay, and as an Atlanta United fan, would you look at the Miami experiment as a success right now?
Well, they've won more trophy than us in the last couple of years.
Which trophy?
They won the Champions Cup or whatever that Continental Cup is. They're in Miami, i.e., are invited guests to the newly formed FIFA Club World Cup. They didn't invite Atlanta United.
You know what that is, though, right?
Yeah, it's because I'm Messi, but at the end of the day, we need some star power in Atlanta too.
That's true, but I'm also saying you're sending for the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, I saw the Liga, brother. You either have to join them because you can't beat them. Because the way the things come up set up is, you have to join them. Go get yourself an old Jamie Vardy and make him farm a fan base and score some goals. Because what is ultimately critical for Atlanta United is that we can't score goals. So
True.
Miguel Almiron just play the ball over and the man will score it. Him stay upon the back in line with the defender and get behind. And these MLS defenders, trust me, they will have problem with Jamie Vardy.
That's yeah. I agree.
All you have to do, we just need Red Bull to sponsor the team, and we're good.
Okay, you're going overboard now. BM says a certain commentator said that 2016 Leicester team was made up of rejects from other clubs. At club level, Shelton played as a winger and striker that contributed to his numbers not being as super impressive. No, we're not going to make an excuse for Shelton.
No, I mean, I saw Luton Shelton. Big up yourself. Big up. Rest in power, Luton. Rest in power. I saw Luton live against Honduras. The man fast like Grease Lightning. I was fast. I actually thought that Luton Shelton would have done probably better in track and field. He did quite well in football. But the man fast, brother. Him fast like Grease Lightning.
Yep.
And I just, while I was watching that game live, I thought to myself, to be running so fast and be able to coordinate yourself and then take a shot. It seems easy in my mind, but the thought process is, because when him take off, cha-cha. So,
Luton was at next level. For Jamaica, Luton was at next level baller. Next level baller.
Definitely could use his goals right about now.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
Rest in power, and hopefully the Shelton family and the Shelton household are doing well. Members are doing well. Yeah, man. All right, another player that we wanted to say farewell to, that it's the end of an era, is Thomas Muller family. Thomas Muller in the Bundesliga. Bid farewell to Bayern Munich. The grandpa is done. What a career, Junior.
Muller symbolized the German Renaissance. And if there's ever a baller that, to me, he symbolized the change of a whole country style of football change under Muller, on Muller's watch. Now, Bogai was the one that really personified the style of play. I remember Germany before was the German machine, right? Where they play pragmatic, get the ball down the wings, very deliberate in the way they approach the game. But then Ozil and Muller came along, under Klinsmann's watch. And they brought a different style of football. Muller is not fandangles, but Muller brought a childlike Sunday league backyard football style to the game. And he played with a joy on his face. And it's not only he played with a German joy on his face, but he was also a killer on the football field. A stone cold killer. That man, I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves. Because football with the way we have appreciated football has changed. But if Muller was to retire in the early 2000s, around when you have Pirlo's, when you have Vieiras, the real Zidanes, the midfield generals, I think Muller will be revered even more. The vibe I'm getting, I think people just say, oh, Thomas Muller gone, okay, go on by your business. I don't think he get the respect that he really deserved. That man symbolized Germany becoming a world power in modern football by modernizing the way Germany approached the midfield player. And he was the midfield 10. So the central attacking midfielder. That man is a general better. Real baller.
Yeah, you see, BM does not mean Atlanta United and the rest of MLS not good enough. BM out here is saying that I would replace Vardy with Suarez. Really? You don't mean you're a good brother? Because imagine Vardy playing in Inter Miami outfit and Messi dropping ball over there to him. Then all of it dead, brother. I mean, no, come on. Come on, man. He says Suarez can barely walk. Yes, he can. He says Cephas is a modern day Shelton in terms of speed. Cephas fast like grease lightning too. But Cephas does have a conversion issue. We'll talk about that when Jamaican football forward. But BM, take by them talk about replace Vardy. We don't know that. We don't want replace Suarez. We do not want to see Jamie Vardy on the end of Messi's pass. That is not good for the rest of us in MLS. Regarding Thomas Muller family, you know what? I think the sentiment that the point you made about he doesn't get the respect he deserves, I don't know. I think I probably fall into that camp, because I kind of see Thomas Muller as someone who's part of a group, who works for the group, but if you take him out and put him on a regular team or a bug side, he will not stand out from the group. Is that a fair assessment? I don't see Thomas Muller as a baller. I think he's been very good, a very hard-working player who has accomplished a lot. And send a hate mail to ballchatpodcast@gmail.com. And I could be wrong here. But I've never sat down and said, I want to see Thomas Muller roll some ball. I don't see that. And maybe I need to go back and watch the old tapes. I mean, yes, when I watch the German team, I want to see Ozil I go roll some ball. We see Gundogan I go play some ball. I mean, what's the other? Even I used to even say, what the one name? Pull Tony Cruz I go roll some ball. But Thomas Muller, Thomas Muller, he's a very hard-working player. And he's an annoying player to play against for defenders. But, right time, right place, right time. I would equate Thomas Muller to being an opportunist. He's gotten an opportunity as a player, and he has ran with it, with the talent that he is given.
Blasphemy. Outrageous this. The gall of you. Just say something like that.
A lot of Thomas Muller fans is gonna send me hate mail. And maybe I need to go back and watch Thomas Muller's tapes and all games because yeah, okay, fine.
All right. So let me tell you something.
What was Thomas Muller's best year to you?
Exactly. That's where I'm going with it right now. You see it. All right. I'm not going to say Thomas Muller is the best. Not saying that. That's why my point was, if he was to be playing around when he had Pirlo, Zidane, and company, he would be more appreciated, right?
Okay.
Thomas Muller, all right, and my son kind of fall in the same category with his basketball, where he's not going to give you Michael Jordan numbers. He's just not. That's just not him, right? But you're going to win. You have him on your team, you're going to win. You have him on the team, there's that one position or that one role or that one player. You just have a comfort there knowing that I know what I am going to get out of it. So when you ask what is Thomas Muller's best year, you know what the answer is, Benton? All of them. He never had a dip. Thomas Muller's best attribute is consistency. And you know exactly what you're going to get from him. And tell you what, his consistency led to a World Cup title. His consistency led to Champions League, led to multiple Bundesliga titles. That's what you know what, Thomas Muller is like insurance.
A lot of we don't need insurance.
He's one, huh? Exactly. So you would say that now because you don't need insurance. You don't know about insurance. You don't care about insurance until you need it.
In fact, big up to all the Jamaican drivers who agree with me.
Okay. All right. Lick somebody car will have power and them say, yo, give me insurance. I'm going to call insurance. That's what Thomas Muller is. Thomas Muller is one of those players that is consistency. To think of it, that would be like saying Robert Perez is not that great. That would be like saying Guti wasn't a baller. That would be like saying Inzaghi is that. That is hope. That to me, Muller isn't that.
But like, all right, like Robert Perez.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Muller is top 10 or top 15.
No, not even top 50.
Cool, but Muller is one of the best, one of the greats in world football. He all right. However you describe Guti, that is how you describe Muller.
All right. In fairness, I mean, I disrespect his accomplishments because he's done his record and the achievements speaks wonders. I mean, Thomas Muller is almost like a Mikel Antonio, but very much better in terms of conversion. And what do I mean like that is this. He's a Swiss Army knife that will play the role to make the team better. The difference between a Thomas Muller and I'm sorry if I hope I'm not disrespectful. The difference between him and a Mikel Antonio is that he's better at that job in terms of conversion. All right, wrong example, wrong analogy, wrong comparison. But that's the way I see Thomas Muller, a player that you can lean on to come on and give you something. Or start, he's going to give you something, he will score. But, I mean, when we talk about baller, a man who have a create pan him own or do them thing and make him teams better. No. I mean, he's a very scrappy player. Now, a player who makes a defender's life miserable. And those are the players you want to have on your team. You want a few of those players on your team. I'm going to have to go back and watch Thomas Muller's tape. But
Muller is a better version of Schweinsteiger.
Not much worse than Schweinsteiger.
Muller is the ultimate Schweinsteiger.
Oh, I thought you asked me which one better than who
No, no,
bet- No.
no, I'm saying Muller, Schweinsteiger's best year or 2 years is Muller's benchmark. That's Muller every year.
Oh no,
I
but
agree with
all
you.
right. But Schweinsteiger impacted games, big moments. No, all right. I'm trying to remember Thomas Muller impactful moment.
Well,
Tell me one. Remember one and tell me.
Brazil.
What, the 7-1? So Thomas Muller do that when the whole German side I run ragged on the team.
All right. Let's not bring back. Oh, let's not dig up old memories though. Champions League. Was it Chelsea? Did the Muller score against Chelsea at the Allianz Arena?
All right. I tell you, you see Schürrle, when he used to play for Chelsea. Thomas Muller is just a little bit better than Schürrle. And I will say this, being in Germany, playing at the Bundesliga's giant, has helped him immensely. But big up to Thomas Muller, massive achievements. Massive achievements. Again, a player that you can always rely on to enter a game and make an impact. Who's always gonna give you everything he got, and he's not gonna take play off. He's gonna always be competitive. So that's something that that I can always give him credit for that. I know I probably will get some hate me for this, but I just said, and I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch Thomas Muller's old game.
Oh, it doesn't have a shining moment that you can point to and say, "Here is
well,
why."
Well, sorry then.
No, I don't think you have anything to be sorry for. It's just that you're a cup of tea, but it's a baller that will be missed. You know what? Somebody in this world, I guarantee, is saying Muller is just like Luka Modric.
Yeah, and that the person that
Tell me, Luka Modric is that like Muller. Tell me that now.
And that the person who has said that when I say I drink mud piss.
You're biased. You're biased. You're biased. You're
no,
biased.
Right, because Luka Modric.
You're biased.
Sorry about that. With Wolfsburg versus game pop-up, but Luka Modric was a baller who you use this phrase often. A straw or is a baller is a straw that stirs the drink. Teams, I don't see that about Thomas Muller.
You're biased.
Yeah, I am. I definitely am.
You're bad boy. You're bad boy.
I am.
Actually, Luka Modric is a perfect pull. He's a perfect pull. Because Luka Modric would never become Luka Modric if he didn't leave Tottenham and go to Real Madrid. He would have never been Luka Modric.
Fair enough. But we can
go that Real Madrid hype.
Yeah, fair enough. But we can agree that Luka Modric was also outstanding at Tottenham, right? It's just like you saw consistency and excellence from him at Tottenham.
He was just a little guy that had an engine. Remember that Tottenham team had the young
He had Bale on it.
Gareth Bale played left back. They had Berbatov. Remember that Berbatov? They had what they could ball it keeper from Brazil. They could ball it bad.
Oh, Lucas Moura.
No. The keeper.
Oh, keeper. No, you said keeper.
But they had a decent. They had Tom Hiddleston. Not Tom Hiddleston. Huddleston.
Huddleston.
Huddleston. Yeah. And then you had the black centre back, English centre back.
Well, look at you, Junior. We don't see color here. Thomas Muller says still up in the air regarding his future. He says future is undecided. There's a lot of talks about, or discussions, or rumors that Thomas might be hitting the MLS. Atlanta United, make a move.
No.
Make a move. If they can play for a certain price, make a move. I mean, and the thing that Thomas Muller would bring to this club, to Atlanta United, is the ability to say, look, cut out the pluckery, we want to win trophies. We're here to... So whichever team that Thomas Muller lands on in the MLS, if he does go to the MLS, he instantly comes in and said, yo, we are here to win. We're not here to come just compete and just respect Inter Miami. We're here to win. And that is probably his biggest attribute. A guy who's willing to grind it out and let the other players around him that, look, we're here to win.
Yeah.
So Atlanta United could use a player like that. Quickly before we go to Jamaican football news, Gianni Infantino reassured fans this week that America is a welcoming place. It says FIFA Congress members walked out after Gianni Infantino's late arrival following meeting with current President of the United States. The FIFA Congress members requested some assurance that the upcoming tournaments in the U.S. will be okay. Junior, there's a lot going on, of course, in the world. Of course, a lot going on here in the States. Infantino taking a very important step to assure fans and supporters that the World Cup and the Club World Cup will be welcoming to fans.
Okay. Hopefully, Balchat don't get any. These are the views of Judah and not Balchat.
Well, I don't think they care about the views of Judah. That disclaimer don't matter.
Yeah.
So whatever you're going to say, and actually to get the direct quote, he says U.S. will welcome international fans for World Cup, says Infantino.
You know when Infantino said that, you know what that equates to? That equates to some unlucky soul going to the gates of hell, and the person that is standing up there said, oh, don't worry, it gets cooler as you get inside. Don't believe what people tell you. It's that hot in there. That pain is not heat. It gets cooler. Trust me. We have AC in hell. You're good. Come, walk right in. That's what that is. Anybody with news that watch news is going to know America currently is not a place that is welcoming to certain foreign individuals. They're just not. So if you're from Denmark, if you're from Switzerland, if you're from Norway, if you're from where else? Russia, Germany. I don't know how I feel about France right now. Italy, places like those, and you have the right complexion. Yeah, trust me, you have nothing to worry about with the World Cup. However, if you speak with any form of Hispanic, Spanish dialect, and if you can walk in the sun without putting on sunscreen and don't have to worry about getting skin cancer, you know what? Come at the World Cup or come at the Club Championship. It's not welcoming to you. It's just not. It's not. The last thing you can imagine, you see all the news about ice. You see all the news about it. You can't imagine World Cup time how much ice truck I take up. Because guess what? World Cup, everybody here partying is $1 million to go to a game. So guess what, Benton? I'm not going to remember to walk with my passport everywhere I go. And when I back you up and say, yo, are you an American citizen? No.
Or show me the documents that you're here legal.
You can't show documents? Yeah. What are you going to say? Hey, man, Mr. Infantino said that you guys were to be welcoming to us at the World Cup. Why are you putting handcuffs on me? Wait a minute. My flight is booked for next week. Why am I going on tarmac? Which plane is this? Where's this plane carrying me to right now? Why are you talking about El Salvador prison? What am I doing in El Salvador? I come from Spain. I come from Africa. Why am I going to Central America in a prison? Oh, but Infantino is saying, don't worry, they're welcoming to you. Like, get out of here, man.
According to the goal, according to Reuters and also Goal Sports, quote, FIFA President Gianni Infantino says, we had a meeting, quote, we had a meeting last week of the White House Task Force on FIFA World Cups with government of the United States, and the world is welcome in America. Of course, the players, of course, everyone involved, all of us, but definitely also the fans, end quote. That's an interesting quote. He says, I want to repeat. He says, quote, we had a meeting last week of the White House Task Force on FIFA World Cup with the government of the United States, and the world is welcome in America. Of course, the players, of course, he said the of course twice, everyone involved, all of us, but definitely also the fans, end quote. This is a heavy push because the fact that he has to go out and reassure fans, I suspect that fans normally would travel to the World Cup may be thinking twice about do they want to take that risk. There will be other World Cups, there will be other tournaments in maybe other societies where fans says they will find like they will have the more enjoyment and more fun. Because the World Cup is an event where people just want to go. They want to ignore all sorts of things and they want to do what they want to do.
Yep.
And they don't want to have to worry about, yo, you remember the phrase, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? Same thing at the World Cup. What happened in the World Cup stays at the World Cup. The man that want to end up going to the World Cup and next thing you know them end up at El Salvador. Because of, so Reuters reported that Infantino has been under pressure from the FIFA Congress due to growing ties with the Trump administration and the immigration enforcement efforts. The comments came amid questions about potential challenges for international fans traveling to the US for both tournaments, including concerns over security and visas. So we always knew that the US immigration and entrance has always been a difficult thing for some players. We saw it firsthand with CONCACAF teams trying to travel to the US. Some struggled to get entrance. We thought it was difficult then. Well, it has gone up a notch. 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 50 times more difficult now. So, we're going to watch the space and keep the family up to date because you don't know. Ball chat will be on the road, providing that we're not getting in trouble covering the World Cup. Infantino says, quote, this doesn't come from me, this comes from the American government, i.e. that it's welcoming to the fans, welcoming to everyone. Everyone is welcome, Infantino said. Obviously, those who want to come and celebrate football, those who want to come to create trouble, like in every country in the world, they are not welcome. They are not welcome anywhere in the world, end quote. So Infantino has to slide in that. And then to make sure to emphasize that this is the second time, I think, this year that Infantino has came out and addressed this issue. The FIFA Congress has been putting a lot of pressure. So the dress rehearsal tournament, the FIFA Club World Cup, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this tournament and see what transpires. And if it doesn't run smoothly, then the FIFA Congress will be putting more pressure on the president regarding the hosting of the FIFA World Cup next year.
And it's just news because Qatar went through the same exact thing. I remember Qatar had even more, I would say Qatar had even worse issues than the rhetoric. Because right now, fun and joke aside, there is serious things happening in the streets of America. And non-citizens are facing turmoil right now that they didn't plan for, right? However,
well, non-citizens, some citizens.
And
Some man say, yo, if him could, him would have sent with some citizens around a cow corner so we can grow on it. So,
True.
and the way some man a move it is almost like the man don't really care. So, so and not just non-citizens alone have to watch themselves, you know. Green card holders that get creep up around corner and because they make a speech sideways. Hey, yo, I need to check my things, you know. So, I mean, it's not an environment where it's friendly to a certain ones. Well, if you come from white South Africa, you're good.
No, but that's rhetoric.
If you are white Africans, you're good.
No, but that is a rhetoric. That's a statement of rhetoric where that's a feeling. Because for the World Cup, when you're applying for the visa, why are you coming to America? To go to the World Cup. Okay. Well, here are the rules to get in. Here is how you get your ticket to come into the World Cup. And Infantino basically said that they're going to charge your arm and a leg and I'm going to dig out your eye to just fly into America and to walk around freely. It's going to cost you. Reading the tea leaves, that's basically what Infantino said.
Yeah, it don't cost you. That cost you, but we don't want to end up at Kokana jail, brother. The man, they want to come and enjoy themselves. And they don't want to end up in a missing persons list about, yo, Bridging did forward for the World Cup up to now, him can't reach back, you know.
But that's a guarantee. but that's a guarantee that
Green card, big up, what's this? Green card holders are not citizens, so yes, they're not, but at the end of the day, them have some rights. Them can't just creep up man off the road and carry them go call corner, so.
Yeah. And big up to Michelle for saying that, but look, it would not.
Big up, Michelle.
When you go on a cruise, right? When you go on a cruise, like the Disney cruise, what do they give you? If you ever been on a Disney cruise,
and the what?
Or if you get a watch, you get a band, right?
Yes.
It would not surprise me if the World Cup attendees get a band for their stay.
Well, you're gonna get something, yes, definitely.
It would, and some of them will say, look, this is not an ankle monitor, first of all, because you're not putting it on your ankle, you're putting it on your wrist. And unlike the ankle monitor, you can actually get your wrist wet. So don't feel like no, we're not tracking you. We're just giving you, look, instead of you walking around with your passport, just walk with the band. You can't take off the band. It's impossible. You can't cut it, you can't move it, you can't do anything. When you land, we'll put it on you, and when you're leaving, we will take it off and you go on about your business. It would not surprise me if they end up doing something like that.
Yeah, let's watch the space. You know, I attended the Corrigan Cricket World Cup last year. And I mean, a whole heap of people that forward for the thing there. Don't know Pakistan and India played in New York. And that was a lot of hype game, a lot of security concerns, because you don't know them two teams when they meet is always a passa marketing. And being at those games, I mean, it was 1, 2, 3, you know, it was no big deal. So it was a lot of people and we have a band and we got through and do what we are doing. Now, I hope for the same thing for the FIFA World Cup. The ability to watch your games, go enjoy yourself, go a zone, fan zone, and I don't want a man to follow me and talk about check this and check that. You see me I deal with? Because when you pay your money, we don't need no extra scrutiny, dog.
Yeah.
I just, you know. But Infantino said, reassured us, and of course you do expect him to, because ultimately, this is a big cash cow for FIFA, right? FIFA don't want any sort of concern around this tournament at all, because every 4 years, this is their big financial thing.
It's the Black Friday. This is their Black Friday.
Yeah, they have for them Black Friday. And money they have for them. So whatever Infantino needs to do to make sure that things run normal for this thing, it's important. But we'll watch the space and we'll keep the family up to date. But let's see. A lot of things are going on for now. A lot of things are going. You know. Continue our football roundup, family. Let's head over to Jamaican football report and discuss some news in Jamaican football. Jamaican Premier League action is currently ball game are going right now. Second leg action taking place. Junior, this is it. Tapa and Mount Pleasant are on a mission.
The game already start, right?
Yeah, let's get the latest scores.
I know Mount Pleasant playing Montego Bay right now.
Mount Pleasant leading Montego Bay 1-0 at the half. Mount Pleasant won the first leg 1-0. Cavalier and Arnett will kick off later on this evening. Cavalier and Arnett drew in the first leg 1-1. So is this a done deal regarding Mount Pleasant family now 2-1 up on aggregate? This is, we saw the first leg.
2-0.
It's just is Mount Pleasant just a better team than Mobile?
Yes, they are. It's just that simple. They're 2-0 up right now on aggregate. And it's done. They're just better. I mean,
and I want a Frenchman them score. I think I wanted the Frenchman them to score in the first leg too.
Franco Celestine. And guess how old he is?
Why is that relevant, Junior? Please, then
He's 16. 16-year-old baller scored. So
I think you did try deal with the man thing. And Clifford Thomas was the one who scored, another Frenchman who scored in the first game.
So that's 150 US well spent. It is what it is. And we're talking about the fine that Pleasant had to pay for breaking the rules.
Yeah, for breaking the rules.
But it's a foregone conclusion right now. Mount Pleasant will be playing in the final. Arnett versus Cavalier at 9 o'clock though. Our baller, what the coach of Arnett name again?
Xavier Gilbert.
Xavier Gilbert. At the end, did you get a chance to look at the post-match interview, Xavier Gilbert?
No, I didn't. I saw the pre-match comments coming for this guy. It seems like he's paying a lot of respect to Cavalier.
He's paying respect now, but in the post-match, Xavier was more perturbed at the way how his team approached the game, especially in the first half, and felt like they gave away the game. Warner Brown scored, but Warner Brown is coming off an injury. So he even said that Warner Brown played even a little bit too longer than he should have. So we don't know how that is going to affect this game. But Mr. Rudolph Speed said, let me say it the proper way so we don't get any defamation lawsuit against us. He said that basically said that they played a lot of games.
Yeah, they're running on fumes.
They're running on fumes. So I am going to hint towards giving a conclusion to what Mr. Rudolph Speed said verbatim, that I'm tired. So let's see how that affects them in this game. It's going to be fatigue versus approach for that second leg. But the first game done, Mount Pleasant is on a mission. Haiti 11 are the French connection, are what we can call them, the Sapase.
The Sapase ball of them.
Sapase ball.
No, wait. So by the way, Sapase is a good thing.
Yeah. Don't worry, we are not going to get any hate mail from any Haitians. And I'm going to be that guy. Even if we did, would we waste the time and put it in Google Translator?
No, I was, hate me. All right, defamation lawsuit or not. I was a little bit taken aback by the comment by Speed that his players are running on fumes. Yeah. At this stage of the season, I think you're in the semi-final of JPL. You're the Caribbean champs. You play against Messi and Inter Miami. You had a long season, yeah. But you also highlighted when you play against Messi and Inter Miami, you highlighted how young your team was, how young your team is, and how youthful they are. So when we are youth, we're not supposed to burn out right now, Bala. We're supposed to come saddle up and run it again. Now, I will say, like, the first leg was on the 15th. Today is the 18th. I think the JPL should have done I would have liked a week between those two games.
Yeah, 3 days is not.
Yeah, 3 days, and I don't know why that 3-day turnaround, especially for a prime. This is your prime league. This is your top tier division. You want the fans to yearn to see a good football game, and if you have players who are trying to recover quickly between 3 days, that might compromise the quality of your product. So I would have liked to see the Premier League, Chris Williams and family, put the thing a week later and put it on a Sunday. Both games on a Sunday when people eat them fried chicken and rice and peas are done. Them can go, sit down at Savannah Park or Mobile Complex and watch some ball games.
Yeah, I agree. It is. But I'm sure the schedule, because they have to get the schedule, they have to get it done before because the international
window. You have to get it done before that window. Well, Sean, some of the look long belly foolishness ball games. We don't have to play so many times during the regular season, brother.
Yeah, and pay the referees.
We have how many teams in the league, and we have 39 round of matches. We don't need to see all them time, my brother. 14 teams. How many teams in the league? 14 teams, I think.
I'll tell you in a second. Yeah, 14 teams.
14 teams. So we have.
What about 39 games?
39 round of matches, and you have. No.
Hold on.
All right, now
how you get 39 games out of 14 teams?
Well, I think each team, how is it? Each team...
Three games.
Yeah, 3 games. Each team will play each other 3 times.
3 games, yeah. Why? Why?
I don't know.
No, do 2 games and spread them out more. However, this, this is a marketing thing, because the longer the league is, the more you can pay people. If the league
can't pay the referee, this is more games to pay a referee.
No, yeah, but then when out of season, you need to have, let's say, because remember, the salary is like a teacher's salary. Teacher's salary is, they get it for 12 months, but they only work 9 months. So you want the league for fight to be sustainable. They have to get paid enough that they don't have to go out and look work elsewhere. A lot. So the quality of the league can still be good. But then if the league is shorter, that means that you leave room open for the players and for staff to have to find employment elsewhere. That means they won't put as much focus in the teams or in the league. So it's a rough thing, but this gives room for us to have a Caribbean Champions League.
But all right, so you have your Caribbean Cup already, but I think domestically,
so just cut down to 2 games and make the Caribbean Cup more accessible to the fans.
But I think from a domestic thing and with the Jamaican Football Federation, maybe look at having a cup competition again. The Lynx Cup was something that they used to have. I'm not sure it's still going on. Of course, you have to find sponsor with it. Have a cup competition, reduce the schedule, the length, because I think they recently changed to 3 games. They used to play each other twice. Have a cup competition, involve the top division and the second division, knockout, and just keep it moving. And then when you get later in the rounds, you probably have a home and away thing. Because I want to see Reno win something, and that would be a perfect opportunity. Reno FC to like that.
You are Reno with the FA Cup.
Yeah, Reno would have win the Jamaica version of FA Cup. but you know, I understand that they were doing a test, so maybe there's room for more changes later on, because room for more improvements, because the top 6 teams, I mean, even though you have, you know, Portmore and Tivoli were competitive, I mean, really and truly, the thing went according to plan. Portmore all year struggled to score goals and then get kicked out. So it's like that extra game in another playoff round. I mean, I don't necessarily think that really important right now, brother. I mean, come on. Top 4 teams go straight to the semifinals. Home and away, then final.
But you don't need to have have your cup separate from your season. So may the season stay in the league format. You have your just like England, just like every other except MLS. I guess they're following MLS pattern. I guess. Because that's what MLS does. You play to get into the playoffs.
By the way, make sure we check the Celestine.
Yeah, he's 16.
Yeah,
I see Fabi Frano saying, big up Fabi. Fabi saying that, yeah.
He's 16 years old.
He's 16. Based on look. Maybe Cavalier was right.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the potential.
Of course, but that's what I'm talking about. So Tapa is developing the adversary. How that work? Plus, with Celestine being 16, how many years before MLS come calling?
Oh yeah, and probably gone after this year. I mean, well, I think what is clearly important, Celestine are play for money. Because he's not just only having impact in a big man ball game. Because Premier League, and when we say big man ball game, there's no referee to protect you in a them big man ball game. Because, we see some tackles that happening in the last round. I say, hitch him up. You know, when Jamaicans back in the day play ball, well, not back in the day, when we used to play ball, the man say, kick where I kick down that. I am sure that Celestine have gotten some really rough sort of tackles. And the youth, 16 years old, be able to navigate that and still not just navigate, have impact
in a foreign country.
This is absolutely impressive.
And and English might not even be his primary. We don't know, but English might not even be his primary language. So there's so much to that story. So that youth is a baller to watch. And hopefully he can navigate the waters and of infrastructural problems and still get the opportunity and make it out there 100% intact. That is key to me. BM says Warner Brown needs to leave Jamaica ASAP. He's a big baller. We were talking about Vardy earlier. Warner Brown may become Jamaica's Vardy, a late bloomer. True. Michelle says, excuse FC like Arsenal. I think she's talking about Cavalier and Arnett. You pick one. Which one? Fabi Frano said, Celestine from Mount Pleasant is only 16. Question mark. And said, so talking from two sides of his mouth. And Michelle said, administration could look into the schedule or format. And BM says, I missed the entire first half because I thought it was at 7. Talking about the Premier League, Jamaica Premier League game that's currently playing at half. Mount Pleasant versus Montego Bay. All-time SEBA. Montego Bay, all-time SEBA.
No, this kid is a really, in fact, big up when Mount Pleasant announced that Franco Celestine is 15, when they and some of these young players, someone asked, "What about the Dakar Cup players?" But yo, I mean, I didn't know he was this young. If he's this young, I mean, I don't think Dakar Cup player. I haven't seen Dakar Cup players in Jamaican football that compare impactful to him.
Well,
I
we did
mean,
see one. We did see one in schoolboy football, not the Costa Cup, but Manning Cup. We did see
Mike,
one in
okay, but him not playing no ball
but
right
but
now.
but but it we don't shout his name because we'll just keep it at a whisper.
Yeah. But him not playing no ball. I mean, and this is might be a different approach. Maybe that players may want to consider once him get healthy playing some ball in a JPL or some other league because of course you have to go play ball. This is a big
And
impact for a young youth. I mean, Kaim Dixon's another one who would with an impact at Clarendon College, if I'm not mistaken. But yo, it's 15 years old or 16.
but Franco Celestine is not. He's not even the youngest Haitian on Mount Pleasant.
No,
Emerson
there's one
Emerson
next one.
Liassi, Emerson Liassi is a
Yeah,
year younger, and Miguel Joseph is the same age. I don't know if they're still playing now because this was from.
yeah.
Uh,
They
uh,
said Emerson Liazi, Mount Pleasant announced is 14 years old
yeah,
when they signed him. So I think he's a year. Yo,
he's a year younger. He's a year younger than Celestine.
he's a year younger than Celeste.
He's 15 right now, and Miguel Joseph is the same age.
And most important, and also equally as important, Mount Pleasant football club just signed, hired, I want to say the former director of which club there? Some an English club. Mount Pleasant hires. I will pull it up. And one of the most important thing that the ownership said in the statement is that they hired him because they want to transition or develop talent and move them on.
Yeah.
So, new director.
They want to become a selling club.
Yes. Former Charlton Athletic, Charlie Methaven. Charlton Athletic as a new managing director.
When I'm getting this money?
Yeah. So they hired Charlton Athletic, former Charlton Athletic CEO, to help them and yeah, and so in the statement, Peter Gould said that the appointment of Charlie Methaven, an experienced international sports executive, is the latest step in Mount Pleasant's FA journey towards achieving our aims, particularly in terms of developing pathways for our young players in the commercialization of what we do. End quote. So, yo, it's not often I read a statement and I raise my eyebrows, but clearly he says that, at least you can tell me if I'm interpreting this wrong, but he's saying that they hire Mount Pleasant, hire Charlie to make sure so them commercialize these young players that they're developing.
Yeah, and that's where the question I'm going to ask now is, how do you come, like, you bring a guy from Charlton, and I'm sorry, but Charlton is probably the furthest thing away from the shores of Jamaica. How can he commercialize talent that is in Jamaica? It's not apples to apples. So maybe he's coming in to direct the talent there. I'm talking the marketing talent to find and identify ways of how they can market the players. But you need people that know the surrounding, know the environment to do this marketing campaign. Ours is a waste of money. It's like throwing money in the well and hoping you get $1 million out of it, because this man might come with some ideas that will work in Charlton, England, We won't work in Jamaica. Where's the experience there? Why you couldn't hire a Jamaican person to do this marketing? That's one of my questions, but I like the idea, and it kind of aligns with the national team. Because now if Mount Pleasant can now become a football factory, now the national team can look at something that is ironclad, something that a pipeline that they can trust and say, I know you are developing the right players on and off the field that is ready to play at the national level. Yeah, it's a win-win. It's a win-win, assuming the player works out.
I forgot to say something in this important in this article. Mount Pleasant and Charlton Athletic signed a memorandum of understanding last year to develop both teams' academies. So ultimately, I envision like with Charlie coming in is not just the development of the academy, but also to essentially make sure that these young players have the tools to then transition to bigger clubs and bigger leagues.
Yep.
Because the investment, we don't know this grassroots payment for transfer is a nice, a substantial cut of the pie. If you develop a talent and you move him or her onto a bigger league, that percentage for developing that talent is nice. It's nice. So Mount Pleasant wants to try to get those younger players, develop them, and then move them on as as the ownership said, commercializing. So it's kind of interesting to me, Joe, because I guess on one hand I probably would say, boy, I figure the man want to dominate the Premier League, and want to dominate CONCACAF Champions Cup, and then they want to win the regional big tournament, which is the CONCACAF Champions League, the Caribbean Champions Cup, and he wants to win the champions, the CONCACAF Champions League. But it doesn't sound like those are its larger goals. Because if you are developing talent for commercialization, then you're not really long term winning them big tournaments is big part of your thing.
No, if you're developing the talent for commercialization, that's more money coming in. That is more resources. That is better, the better infrastructure. So your team will take 2 days to recover, while other teams in the league is taking 7 days to recover. You get a competitive advantage. It all rolls downhill. Celestine now, guess what? You might just see him gone at Charlton next year.
Yeah. Or somewhere in the French league. He speaks the language. Quite a few French players end up in the French league. So, Michelle says maybe he has the networks externally to move on the talents. Yeah, definitely. I mean, with his foot in that market, he should be able to move the players on. But it's not just moving on to it, it's moving on for a profit. I think that's one of the big things in that statement, the commercialization, because one thing that is very evident for Mount Pleasant is that they have invested heavily in this team and transferring talent. People call them the Man City of Jamaican Football Club, Jamaican Football League. So we're curious to see how this one plays out, family.
Yeah.
So are we still on the cards for Cavalier versus Mount Pleasant final? Is that the final we want to see, with this Cavaliers comment from Rudolph Speed that his team running on fumes? I mean, we don't even know if we want to see that. At the end of the day, we want to see a good football game no matter what.
Yeah, but if Cavalier running on fumes and Arnett Gardens can't beat them, do we really want to see Arnett versus Mount Pleasant?
No, but I mean, the jungle is going forward tonight. Right now, tonight, Warner Brown probably will score a goal or two, maybe 2 goals. I mean, Savannah Park will pack up with the junglist fan base tonight. Now, Cavalier, yeah, I think this is it for them. I'm calling junglist winning. Oh, if Arnott don't win this, it's because of Xavier Gilbert.
I was going to make a comment, but I know why Xavier Gilbert sue us for defamation of character, so I'm going to leave it alone.
So watch the space. Mount Pleasant still leading Montego Bay United 1-0. Paul Teagat Davis did say after the first leg he was very disappointed with the first half, happy with the team's performance in the second half. So hopefully right now Teagat Davis players them has turned up for both halves because they would need it.
Yeah.
In the Jamaican Premier League family, Women's Premier League, Fraser's Whip extended their unbeaten run to 11 games. What you say? Just give them a trophy.
It's over. It's done. It's over.
What do you mean it's over, Junior? I mean,
their goal difference is what? 1 million right now?
We're not. I don't have the latest standing. Let me see if I can pull it up. But
you won't be able to see the goal difference because there's not enough room on the paper on the screen.
Okay. But you were saying regarding the Women's Premier League.
Fraser's Whip gone with it. I mean, what more is there to say? And them still don't respond to our email yet. Yes, I'm carrying feelings. But Arnett and Cavalier drew 2-2. Los Perfectos defeated Federal United 9-0. Wi-Fi United and Proven drew 1-1. And Fraser's Whip defeated UA 4-0. Last time I checked.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last time I checked, Fraser's Whip had a goal difference of 50 after 10 games. 50. That's 5 goals a game, Benton.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean when you stack up and Montego Bay United score update. Montego Bay United has equalized, family.
We'll
so
see
now
how far
it's 2-1 on aggregate. It's 1-1, 62nd minute. Haven't gotten a word on who scored for Montego Bay United, but it's 1-1, family.
Yeah.
This could get interesting.
Last couple of minutes, yeah. So Mobile will be hunting a second goal, trying to tie the game.
Keep an eye on that one. We'll let the family know the score before we leave. Before we take over ourselves. But after update a few news on the Reggae Girls. One notable news coming out this week was the retirement of Saibon Wilson. Reggae Girl Saibon Wilson announced her retirement from football. I think ultimately what happened with Saibon is the injuries have caught up to her, and she decided to step away from the game of football altogether. She said, "This has honestly been one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, but I've decided to retire from professional football. It's not something I've taken lightly at all, and it was definitely not a decision that was made overnight. This is deeply a personal decision, but I feel now it's the right time to step away and focus on my business and other opportunities. Football has given me so much. It's taken me around the world, allowed me to play at the international level for Jamaica, and connected me to teammates who I can now call family. The game will always hold a special place in my heart, and while I'm stepping away from the pitch, I will always be a fan. Junior, she joined the second reggae girl to step away from the Gabe Marla Sweatman, the other one who announced her stepping away in March officially. Khadija Bonishaw, big up, says, enjoy your retirement and good luck on the next chapter. Tiffany Cameron, big up, Tiffany. Wishing you all the best and God bless. Yasmin Jameson also give a shout out to Simon Wilson. Excited for you and excited for your next chapter, family.
Yeah, and like I said, injuries have caught up to her, and it's unfortunate, but it's a part of life. And the thing I'm happy about is that the growth in the Jamaican women's football on the international level has afforded a player that opportunity to leverage that experience and move on to hopefully greener pastures. Give her an opportunity. And that in itself is a step forward. So, unfortunate for the baller, but so it goes sometime. It's a part of life. But I'm happy that you have an opportunity to, on the surface, gives us the impression like she's taking it with grace and she's moving on. So.
Big up, if you're on Blue Sky family, subscribe to Ball Chat. Also subscribe to Yardy Ball. Yardy Ball, wall-to-wall coverage of Jamaican football, Jamaican women's football. Update for Jamaican women's football. Tiffany Cameron scored a goal for relegated Real Betis. Alison Swaby and Crystal Palace also relegated. Jade Bailey also relegated with Sheffield United. Shania Hales was featured, of course, Newcastle's own Shania Hales, Newcastle United women's top goal scorer, second highest goal scorer in the English Women's Championship, was also featured. She on Sportsmax, as she's probably the one who's going to have to lead the line for the Reggae Girls in the June upcoming friendlies. Of course, Reggae Girls have Team USA and European champions England, as Khadija Bonishaw is recovering. Coach Busby said, with star striker Bonishaw sidelined indefinitely due to injury, Reggae Girls coach Busby says that the team will be relying on Newcastle forward Shania Hales and other attacking options to carry the scoring. Still obviously out with her club. The report, she's definitely out indefinitely. I don't really expect for these next couple of games, as in Bonishaw. Busby says, I think Shania came in second in the championship, missed out on the golden boot by 1 goal. She has a fantastic season. I really like Shania Hales. And I think for Jamaican women's football, it's an opportunity. We know that Bunny has been the one leading the line, but if you can build that depth, have somebody else who can come in and score goals consistently, then this is a win-win for Jamaican football family, Jamaican women's football especially.
Yep, I agree.
So we'll watch the space. One final news before we go home. Jamaica's, soon to be apparently, your footballer Mason Greenwood family finished second in the Golden Boot. Soon to be Jamaican Mason Greenwood, right?
At this point, I don't even know if this brother going to come to Jamaica. I am now skeptical.
He finished second in the Golden Boot race in France, tied with goals on with Ousmane Dembele, but Ousmane Dembele got the nod because of more or less penalty scored as opposed to Mason. Junior, regarding Mason Greenwood, is this, the Gleaner reported over the weekend, Jamaican bound Greenwood misses League One Golden Boot. I mean, if the Gleaner is reporting that, then we should be able to book it, right?
He might be liable for a defamation lawsuit.
Reggae Boys have games coming up at the Unity Cup. Do you think that this is it? Mason Greenwood need to make himself available now or never?
We're not in the position to say no or never.
What do you mean we? We as in who? The Reggae Boys or we Jamaican fans?
Jamaica is not in the position to make themselves. But we can't say it's no or never, Mason. We can't do that. But we will see. I'm skeptical of the whole thing, to be honest. At this point, I am skeptical of what's going on. I think he's still holding out for England call-up, regardless of what's being said. I think he's still holding out for that because England don't really have that much striker options right now other than Harry Kane. So Tuchel will take the. I think Tuchel will take the risk, especially if a club in England bring him back in. So I think he's still holding on to that. What his summer outlook, transfer outlook will look like, because I don't think he'll be there next year because him and De Zerbi fell out. And imagine if he and De Zerbi didn't fall out, he maybe would have won the Golden Boot. So we'll see. We'll see. From a Jamaica perspective, my suggestion to my fellow Jamaicans is just sit down and hope. Just hope.
I just have a backup plan.
Well, you don't have what's the backup plan?
Your granny say you can't put your eggs in one basket.
You're not putting the eggs in one basket. You're hoping that he will come. Mason Greenwood is the basket.
Yeah, but you can't put your eggs in one basket. Put some of the eggs in another basket.
No, you have your squad, but there's no other player. There's no other player out there that will miraculously have a Jamaican grandfather that is a world-class striker right now. There is none. So what you have is what you have. Greenwood would be a welcome addition whenever he forwards.
BM says I've been saying that from day one, Greenwood doesn't want to play for Jamaica. It makes no sense chasing players who don't want to play for us. Good point, BM, because ultimately it's just like a man when they are them say, yo, run down girl, so what you deal with? But I thought that the Jamaican fan base in large part felt that this player is worth running down.
Everybody is going to think he's worth running down. Both things can be right, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want to see Jamaica running down players like this. However, Jamaica should want to run down a player like this if they want to be better. Both things can be right.
Fair enough, that is true, yeah.
Ultimately, you would hope that the player would want to play for Jamaica. Now, if him don't forward, no. And he's what, 24, 25? 8 years from now, whatever his age is, 8 years from now. Okay, Jamaica, I'm ready to play for you right now. No. Then I will say.
I said, according to Wikipedia, he's 23 now.
Right, so when he's 31, even Greenwood at 31, 32, I would still be. Look, for all those who don't like that Jamaica is running him down, prepare for hear Greenwood name in the news for the next 8 years. 31, 32, they might stop pursuing him. But from now until for the next 8 years, yes, he will be pursued. He will be.
And the bottom line is that good to see him and his family doing their thing. By the way, I think I saw his girlfriend post, according to the goal.com, his girlfriend posted a picture with them and their child. I thought he married this young lady, didn't he?
Yeah, they're married.
Okay, so it's not a girlfriend sort of scenario.
No, they're married.
Yeah. So watch the space regarding Mason Greenwood. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. Reggae Boys will play Trinidad and Tobago Tuesday the 27th. Sure. Next Tuesday that?
Yeah, next Tuesday. And I guess now is the time, though, that would make people know, since we're wrapping up the show. Next week is our season finale.
Yeah, watch a land season we are dealing with right now.
Yeah.
And recorded videos.
Yeah. But after next week, next week is Memorial Weekend too.
Yeah, next week is Memorial Weekend. Football family, we're coming to the end of the season and we're going to switch to more watch-along centered content. Basically, reggae boys, reggae girls, Champions League. So wall-to-wall coverage of CONCACAF Gold Cup action. That is where we kind of pivot to in the summer. And we outside. We might record some games and just drop it if we can, if some boy gets salad.
As long as we don't get any defamation lawsuit.
Yo, we'll go where we are. We're about to take ourselves. But Junior, before, there's a lot of things happened this week. Word is that the Lucas Paqueta betting case, they have reached a decision, but they have not made it public. Junior, they need this thing wrap up any day now. I think Lucas Paqueta, according to reports, Brazil, Lucas Paqueta and his family, his wife posted something recently about the toll it has on the family. I don't know. They say he's suffering from all sort of mental. It's taking its toll on him.
I mean, I am willing to bet that is a. I'm going to resist it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am that petty. I mean,
Carlo Ancelotti needs Lucas, would like to have Lucas Paqueta for Brazil.
I bet he would.
Yeah, and West Ham. So, I mean, maybe this week, as the season is wrapping up, we'll hear something from the investigators and the final result, the verdict. But there's a lot at stake here for Lucas Paqueta because if found guilty, he could be the worst case scenario banned for life.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, banned for life, you can't give man pre-truce treatment like, nah.
It's not going to happen. I think with the length of time that it took and how they're kind of landing the plane graciously, I think he's going to basically turn out to be time served, go and pay a bag of money.
Time served.
Basically, like the torment that he went through over the last. I think what happened, this is my gut feeling. My gut feeling is they don't have the evidence. They don't have the stone evidence, the clear-cut evidence that he was betting on these games. So what they did was, over the period of time, if he is really a serial gambler, if you're really a serial gambler, it's like smoking. No matter how hard you try, you will mess up again. So they took this period of time to really monitor him, really watch him closely, and see if there are any loose ends out there that kind of track back to the allegations, and then they will say, no, here's concrete proof. Here is the guy that you paid the money to that went in and did the bets under a different alias. If they don't have any of that, they're going to come back now and say, we know there's something there. We can't prove it. You know you did wrong. We can't prove it. We're going to slap you on the wrist. Don't do it again. Look at what you went through the last couple of years. Don't do it again. And the message will be sent to other players. I think that's what's going to end up happening. I really think that's what's going to end up happening.
All right. All for the sake of the baller. I think that's time for go where we are. Lengthy show today. Next week is the final show for the season. So this is the penultimate show. Score update. 88th minute. Mount Pleasant and Montego Bay United 1-1. Second leg of Jamaican Premier League semi-final. One matchup. 2-1. Mount Pleasant is leading on aggregate. So if this result holds, Mount Pleasant will be into the final of the Jamaican Premier League. Europa League final later on. Well, before we get to Europa League final, second semi-final match will take place later on this evening. Arnett Junglist Gardens will take on Cavalier. Yo, non-defamation lawsuit, Cavalier. Speed. Good luck. Good luck. Europa League final in the middle of the week. Spurs need a trophy versus Man United.
And people, do this. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're following us. We're going to put a schedule out for the watch-alongs. And for those who are new, what a watch-along is, we cannot show the game live, but we are watching it with you. So you have a lot of games that are played that we are interested in, that have a lot of biased commentary, or you're sitting down watching the game, and if you're at home by yourself and you want that community feeling, especially watching a Jamaica game, watch it with us. You watch a game, have your phone, have your iPad, turn it up, make sure that our commentary aligns with the game that is being played, and just join the community, because we all come together, we all joke, we have a pre-game, we watch the game together, we talk, we cry, we cuss, we cheer, and we still cannot understand why Damian Lowe is still running into the midfield every time. But we'll figure it out together. We're going to hopefully have a schedule out where we can say we're definitely having a watch-along for these games. The World Cup qualifiers, the Gold Cup, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Gold Cup, World Cup qualifiers. But after that, if we can find some Henry Morgan channel, we'll do the other games then.
Big up Countryman. Countryman said with all the setbacks and horrible season by City's standard, finishing third in the EPL will be commendable.
Well, let us finish third yet, but I agree.
And if they do end up finishing third, and also we forgot to mention that word is out that Frimpong, sources are that Frimpong is on the verge of a Liverpool move. So Slot and Liverpool not wasting any time. Frimpong could be the replacement for Trent Arnold, as he will compete with Connor Bradley for that. And Frimpong, of course, had a successful season with, well, last year had a successful season with Leverkusen. So, and he scored, I want to say he scored, what, 12 or 13 goals last year or somewhere around there. So,
yeah. And also, Manchester United, per Fabrizio Romano, is currently putting a bid together for Emmy from Aston Villa goalkeeper.
Huh.
Emmy Martinez.
Really?
Yeah,
so Emmy Martinez would have leave from number Champions League competing team and go down at number 17, 16?
If them playing in the Champions League, maybe.
So what will happen to Onana?
Yo, later.
Mount Pleasant 1, Montego Bay 1, 83rd minute. Time for go, man. We are. Time for go, man. Big up to all listeners. Big up. Connect with us on Instagram at Barca Podcast. We also same address on Blue Sky. We're on TikTok at Barca_podcast. And I wrote it up.
Michelle, big up Michelle. Michelle said, Bournemouth and Fulham, please do your duty. I need my team, Chelsea, to get top 5. Lord, Michelle.
Lord. Chelsea.
Michelle and Cupboard will do well together. You soon be in Cupboard, Michelle, if you don't know Cupboard yet.
Good luck. God go with Chelsea next year. Or next week. Because Chelsea plays first next week.
Big match. You know, no, I got church.
You know what, Junior? Let's do a watch along and we can read the Bible.
I was just about to say, I got church, man.
Let's do a watch along and we can read a few scriptures before we start.
I'm going to go to the early morning service.
Let's do a watch along for the final part of the Premier League season. Read a few scriptures. 11 a.m. and we just kick off and watch some ball games.
if Man U win Wednesday, I'm going to go to the early morning service. No, I don't want to go to the early morning service. We back on it though.
Yeah, if